What I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to show you a couple apps that I definitely like to use on my new iPad. One of the first things that I'm going to find is I do use Twitter, and so right here I've downloaded and I have Tweetdeck set up. And what I have here is I have different columns and allows me to better use Twitter for networking and getting information. The columns that I have up right now, on the left column over here, you will see that this column is all friends. So these are going to be all the people that I follow on Twitter. And what we have here is their icon and then their different tweets. This column I have up here is going to be mentions anytime that my username has been mentioned, if I've been retweeted or anything else. I can change. I have a couple columns. I have my direct messages. I have been searching for iPads in education and trying to see if there's been any type of Twitter news or Twitter buzz to give me some articles about iPads and the use of education. One thing that it does allow me to do using TweetDeck is we can see here, we have some tweets here and we have somebody talking about supportive blogging and links to school bloggers. So I'm going to click on that tweet. Up here on the top of my TweetDeck, I'm going to have a link where I can go ahead and click on the short link, and it will actually bring up the web page right here in TweetDeck. And then once it's up there, I can decide if I want to leave viewing it in TweetDeck and I want to view it in Safari. I do have it set up right now using Packratus that if I retweet anything with a URL, it automatically puts that URL into my Delicious account, so I don't have to worry about going in and taking things from TweetDeck and putting into Delicious. So I really enjoy using TweetDeck. Another app that I use quite often is going to be Animoto, and I know that we're going to be talking about it, using that in class, but I have the full-fledged educator version, and when I click on Animoto here, it loads up and I can see my videos, different ones that I have done. I've demoed some to my Tech Academy. This is one that we did in a class, and I can go ahead and download it from the Animoto app, or I can play it right on here also. So that's Animoto. Newsy. I think this is a very interesting news app. Newsy. What you'll see on the top for Newsy is we have different categories. We have all world, U.S., politics, business, entertainment, tech, science, and environment. So I'm going to choose tech science. And what Newsy does is they make their own little newscast about what is happening, and you can go ahead and watch the video. For example, the Gulf seafood, is it safe to eat? I can go ahead and click on that. The news article will play here. We can see comments that people have posted down below.
The government is allowing fishing vessels to return to the Gulf for the first time since the deadly oil rig explosion happened back in April. Government
and these news articles have a little bit of a twist to it. We have comments down here. There are 6 of them. We can get the official transcripts. So if you actually wanted to read what the newscast was about. If I wanted to share it, I can certainly send it to email, Facebook, or to Twitter. And also here we have the sources. So this is where Newsy actually got the sources. So I could go ahead and click on NPR, and it would pull up the NPR website where they got their information for this article about whether or not the seafood from the Gulf is safe to eat. So this will totally allow students to go through and validate the information from the news article instead of just taking it as a standard. And again, I'm still within the Newsy app, so I can go back to play video and it's here.
The government
back. The other nice thing I can do is down here on the bottom is my playlist of older articles that I found, because there are a series of ones that I can find by clicking on the next up here. But if I find one that I really like, all I need to do is go ahead and add it down to my playlist, and then I can go ahead and just play it from here. So I like this news app. So we're talking about jailbreaking iPhones.
Allows smartphone users to run.
So I think that's helpful if you find an article and then you want to be able to reference it later. Again, this is the Newsy app. Mapquest I've recently used for trying to get directions when driving instead of having a TomTom. I was using Mapquest for the turn-by-turn, again having my 3G turned on, but it allowed me to get directions. The other thing that it will allow me to do is if I wanted to find some place to eat along the way, it'll certainly pull up restaurants that would be within that area. So Mapquest is another free app that I've been using. Color Splash was told to me about a fellow business teacher, and what you do with Color Splash is you go ahead and open up any photo that you may have. So we'll go ahead and open up a picture of my son delivering some items that he got for his birthday party. Instead of getting presents, he asked for donations for the food pantry. And the Color Splash will go ahead and take this picture and turn it gray. So what I want to do on the top, there's a color option or a gray option. Right now it's on color, and what I would do is I just take my finger and it puts color back into the photo into what area you want. Again, you can zoom in, and I could then just make my son's shirt red. Okay, if you don't like it, you can go ahead and go back into other images. I'm not going to save this one. And here's the photo, and again, I'm going to zoom it in, and I'm going to make his hat in color, but the rest of it now is in black and white. I could do the same thing with one of these cones, and it just really allows you to accent or highlight whatever piece you want. And let's say that you made a mistake with this finger, you went off here to the side and you got something else that's in color that you didn't want. You can go ahead and choose gray and go back, and you'll see now that this picture has a totally different feel to it because I'm only going through and putting in it. I can go ahead and save it. I can save the image, I can email it, I can upload it to Facebook, just depending on what you want to do to it. So I'm just going to click on Save That Image. So that is been saved to my photo album. So that is the app Color Splash. Cloud Browse is a great app that allows you to access any websites that has Flash. You can only use Cloud Browse when you have Wi-Fi account. You cannot use Cloud Browse when you're going through 3G. And what you would do is you wait for Cloud Browse to come up, and then up here on the web you would type in your address. And I know the banner on the top of my school's website is in Flash. So I'll just type that in and go ahead and hit go. And so now what I'm doing is I'm actually seeing this website through Cloud Browse. And up here you will see that this banner is now animated because that is actually a Flash app. So Cloud Browse does allow you to go through and view some Flash on your iPad, but again you need to use your Wi-Fi account, not 3G. Right here I have all kinds of apps for my 5-year-old to use. Another fun one that I found was called Hound. And this allows you, if you know a song and you really want to find out who did the song, up here in the upper right hand corner you would click on that Hound where it says tap here, and then all you need to do is sing it. All I wanna do, ooh, 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 ooh. All I wanna do, ooh, 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 ooh. It said go ahead and tap when you're done, so I did that, and what it's doing right now is it's searching its database and trying to find a song that matches it. And what I really like about that is when it does find it, and right now my internet seems to be a little bit slow, it will go through and allow you to purchase that song from iTunes if you can find it. It will give you YouTube applications that'll come up to it. If I look at my history, it'll have some on there. But my network is a little bit slow and not really liking what I'm doing with Hound, so I'm just going to click on OK. EduTecher, if you have not used this app, it's actually a website, and what it does is it has a whole bunch of web tips or websites that teachers can use, and they just have an app that you can go ahead and put on your iPad pod, and again, this is an iPod. It has been modified to fit on your iPad, but you can go ahead and it gives you all kinds of different websites that would be used for educational purposes. So I like to use that one. Blanks is a nice app that has you working on your vocabulary, and what they have up here on the top is a spot where the word is missing. They have a definition, so this reads, marked by complexity and richness of detail. On the bottom we have unexample, calorics, blank text, and luxuriant, so I'm going to drag it up there. And the right one gives you a check mark. If you choose the wrong one, you put it up there, it gives you a red mark, and you have to keep going. On the top it tells you. So this is just a nice way of you to go through and work on some vocabulary. It does not allow you to set the level of vocabulary, but it is one that will have you working on. I don't think it's really suitable for students. Adobe Ideas is a great one. What you can do is you can go ahead and start a new Adobe idea. This is one that I've played with before. And here is a picture that I dropped in here, and I can actually go through and I can draw, I can change the size of my pen. Just allows me, if I have a creative thought that I wanted to go through and do, I could do that. I can erase things that I put on there. I can undo. I can move items throughout. So this is just a quick and easy way on an iPad to be able to go through and do some quick photo editing. I can go in and put in a new picture. And again, all of these pictures need to be on my iPad, but I can easily throw them on there and go through and modify and do different things. Read It Later is a great app if you have a website and you know that later you're not going to have internet access. You can access it through Read It Later, and then you can go ahead and create a list and you can see it later when you don't have internet access. So I like that. Paper Desk is another way of taking notes, very similar to Evernote. I'm still debating which one I like better. This app right here is for the fishermen in the world. This is an app called Muskie Weight Calculator, and you go through and choose the length and the girth of the fish, and it will tell you the length, the actual average weight of it. So this one right here, this muskie has a length of 57¼ inches, a girth of 20¼ inches, and it says its weight should be 32. So just a fun app that I thought my husband would like to play with. Here is some of my apps that I have found that to enjoy on my iPad. I hope you enjoy it and enjoy playing with technology.